Good evening. It's been a heck of a day in College Park. Today, DJ Durkin was announced as the new head coach of Maryland football. Bruce and I were out there. This is Wayne Viener for Red Turtle Productions. Bruce, what did you make of today's festivities?
Well, our first impression was that he's very young, all right? And I like that. You know, these games, football and everything is for the young. It's not for the old. And when you see a guy like Tedford being hired by Virginia, who would really want an old retreaded guy, you know? Not that I wouldn't want myself, but would you want Mac Brown? Would you want somebody like that? I don't know about you, but I want fresh, new, young ideas. He seems like a gung-ho recruiter. He's a lot looser than our former coach. Seems like, I made a comment that I think you feel like he's going to be a player's coach. How about you?
I certainly think he's a lot closer to being a player than Randy Edsall was. Only 37 years old. DJ Durkin wore number 44. He played linebacker for Bowling Green under Gary Blackney. I'm going to ask you about that again in a second. He then goes on to the Stanford staff. He ends up in Florida, where he ends up coaching a bowl game after they fire Will Muschamp. And one of your favorite guys hired him to head out to Michigan to be the defensive coordinator. Bruce, that's a heck of a coaching tree. Why don't we start with Gary Blackney, a very good coordinator for Maryland, and then go from there on that coaching tree?
Well, Gary Blackney, of course, Freddie always says that Maryland was never the same after Blackney left. And he might be right. He was a great coach for Maryland. And, he learned under him at first at Bowling Green. Of course, Bowling Green was his alma mater. And I heard enough about Bowling Green for a while this year. All right.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites, but I heard the head coach from Bowling Green, Dino Babers, might be headed to Syracuse. But meanwhile, back to our story here.
So from there, he runs the tree of, was it Tyrone Whittingham and then David Shaw and Urban Meyer at Florida. And then Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. And wow, what a lineage. But he really seems like he was born to be a head coach. And, we want to catch him on that first step to greatness. Now, we learned that his contract was a 5-year deal for $2.5 million. And I think the good thing about that is it leaves some money out there for assistants to be paid a lot. And I think that I'm hearing names all over the place about guys who want to come here. Who he's going to keep, who he's not, I don't know. But it certainly looks like one guy who's not going to stay is Mike Locksley. How do you feel about that?
Well, I've heard that he turned down a substantial raise, which would have put him at $1 million or more. Look, I like Locksley as a guy. He's a good recruiter. He wasn't the greatest. We didn't have the greatest offense with him. And he certainly had a chance to be the head coach for a couple of games. I thought he did a good job. Part of me wishes he would stay, but I know that you're leaning towards if you're going to start over, go ahead and start over.
Well, look, if a guy desperately wanted to be head coach of Maryland, and I think he did, all right, and he doesn't get that job, is he going to feel right staying on as the second fiddle guy? I don't have that answer, but obviously there's a market for him out there, and he'll find another job, and he'll certainly hurt us with recruits a little bit this year, the Haskins and all that stuff. But, sometimes you want a new broom to sweep clean. And that's what's happening with DJ Durkin, where, he's bringing his own recruiting acumen, and he's going to bring in a bunch of guys who have tremendous recruiting ability. And he sure didn't speak like a guy who was dependent on anybody today.
No, you could see why he has been the National Recruiter of the Year. He talked a lot about blue-collar football. He talked about being aggressive in everything we do. I love some of these quotes. You can out-effort people. And then I wrote down enthusiastic. I've got 2 exclamation points and a star. One of my best quotes is, you find a way to get to the top. Did you feel like you were listening to a guy who knows how to win today?
Yeah, I really felt like I was listening to like a Harbaugh disciple. And we know that John Harbaugh thinks the world of him as well. And all I can say is, here we go. It's time to judge him. He's got just a tremendous amount of work left to do, especially if he loses Duane Haskins, which seems inevitable. But you and me both commented that Caleb Rowe was sitting there looking pretty happy today.
He was looking happy, and maybe today the Gage Schaefer era started, for all I know. I was talking to Todd Carton earlier, and he said that Duane Haskins went back onto his Twitter account and is now back to being pro-Maryland on Twitter. So maybe he's not going anyplace. If you want to stay home and be a star, hey, you got the opportunity. And I think he's going to
Duane Haskins. Go ahead.
I don't know how you can, after seeing Durkin and thinking there's going to be 5 or 6 other under 40-year-old, really aggressive top guys are going to come in from big football programs who know how to win. I'll give us a 50-50 shot to keep Haskins, because I think you listen to all these guys, and Maryland's going to keep Corey Robinson, who's been one of the key recruiters, probably going to keep Chad Wilt, another key recruiter. Maryland's still going to have a pretty impressive, or maybe more impressive, stable of coaches with a lot of high energy. Go ahead, Bruce.
Duane Haskins, okay? I've talked about this in the past. Duane Haskins, it's got all the kudos, all the acumen, everything looks great for him. He comes to Maryland next year, and it's pretty likely that he turns out to be the starter, or certainly by mid-year, all right? Why wouldn't you want to go to Maryland? You're going to be playing Penn State, Michigan State, Ohio State every year. You've got the biggest marquee games in the world. You've got a coach who's really going to emphasize from his end defense. I'm sure he'll bring in a great coordinator. And you go to Alabama and you're competing against 4 guys to be quarterback. You go to Florida, you've got 4 guys. He comes to Maryland, Wayne, he's the man. And I don't know how else to put it. He comes here and he has he's going to start most likely, or certainly by his second year. He'll start for 3 years or however. And why would he not want to come? Now, I know he loves Mike Locksley, and Mike Locksley is one of the best recruiters in the world, but he's got to look out for Duane Haskins. If Locksley goes somewhere else, if he goes to Florida or Alabama or somewhere in the SEC, who's to say what happens?
Today's rumor is LSU. Most of those other recruits, which made up about the 40th ranked class in America, seem to say they're going to let Durkin have those meetings, build the staff, and see what's next. I think a lot of them committed to the school. They want to go to the University of Maryland, not as much a coach. But as you say, we'll see what happens. That signing day, the first Tuesday in February, is a long way off. And I think we made the right move today. Bruce, do you feel still, I think we got a winner. And I feel a lot better after going to the press conference and hearing it myself than I did before. I still was a little bit of the who was DJ Durkin.
Well, you and me still don't know him. I still don't know him. All right, except that Michigan had a hell of a defense this year. But we still don't really know him. But this is what I do know and what I really believe. I believe that Dan Mullen backed out of the job because he didn't want to be in the Big Ten East. And I believe a lot of the problems that that Kevin Anderson had in not getting a guy who's got the reputation, was that guys were scared to go into this conference. This guy's not scared. He can't wait to get in. All right? He's not intimidated by Harbaugh. He's not intimidated by Urban Meyer. And maybe we'll see what happens. But to me, I loved his attitude today. And, we got such a long way to go, Wayne. I hate to say we have to be patient, but darn, we have to be patient. It's just not fair for a guy to step in under these circumstances and expect immediate rewards, even though the schedule is a little bit easier next year. But give him a chance. I'm 100% behind him. And I like the way he talked. I like his youth. I heard him on the radio today as I left. I was driving back. And he was much more together on the radio. I think he was a little nervous today. I don't know if he expected that kind of greeting. All right.
Well, the top lines on my notes right here: very young, nervous, young family. And then the next one, great coaching tree.
Yeah.
So what's coming up on the Sports Maven on Saturday, and what do you have lined up for In the Nest on Sunday? Both heard on 1300 CBS Sports Radio in Baltimore.
Well, certainly on Sports Maven, we'll be talking about the Maryland game on Friday night. We'll be talking about the conference championships. We'll be talking about DJ Durkin. I haven't decided who my guest is today on Saturday. If you're not coming in, you certainly will be one of them. And, across the rest of the board of the NFL and, a lot to talk about now. The NCAA's in full gear. I can't wait to continue to watch Seth Curry. It's becoming like a obsession with me, watching him play every night. So we got a lot to do on the Maven. And then, around here, Wayne, it might sound crazy, but there's still people talking playoffs for the Ravens. All right.
I heard you talking to Dennis about his look at the draft coming up. So that's both ends of the spectrum.
Right. Well, it's one or the other, and Dennis is deep into that draft. And who's that first pick going to be? He told me, I was talking Joey Bosa would be the guy I would want. He said to me, Bosa might be the first pick or second pick. So we probably won't get him, but there's a ton of guys we can get. And we certainly, when I say we, the Ravens need everything they can. And so that'll take care of, of course, In the Nest, talking about Miami Dolphin game, place where the Ravens have always done great, and the rest of the NFL. And, the Redskins, geez, I looked at their schedule. I don't know how they can't make the playoffs. Their schedule is so easy that it's a joke.
But the Redskins can't win a game to save their life on the road. They've got the Cowboys here. They are at
That's 2 wins. That's 2 wins against the Cowboys. All right.
Stranger things have happened. I cannot count any seconds yet.
They stink. All right. And I don't know who else they play, but I don't see that their schedule's tough at all. But they should make it. Ravens won't make it, but whatever. But DJ Durkin, all in all, I'm very happy. Seems like a great get. I'm sad about Locksley. I wish him the best. He always bled his heart out for Maryland. And I'm sure he'll land with the same kind of money, same kind of job. And that's just the way it is.
That's the way it is this Thursday night. Remember, Maryland has a basketball game tomorrow night at home.
Are you there tomorrow?
Say again?
Are you going to the game tomorrow?
We gotta go to the game because we have the
Post game?
Mutual Life post game show.
That's the debut.
It's actually the second one, our debut on it.
Right.
And Maryland Clemson tomorrow night to go to the soccer Final Four. And then we're back to NFL football with the Ravens on Sunday. The Redskins Monday night against the Cowboys. Big sports weekend around here. For Bruce Posner, this is Wayne Viener. This is a TerpTalk Red Turtle Productions. And as always, Bruce, say goodnight.
Good night, everybody. And we'll see you at Comcast tomorrow. Come and say hello to me and Wayne. We have our legions of people who watch the post-game show. And join that crowd. We have a great time.
Good night.
Good night.